Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Vin, and this is the monthly wrap-up for May of 2024. So we're already more than halfway through June when I'm finally doing my May wrap-up, but whatever, at least I'm getting it done. All the books in here that I'm going to be discussing, I've only got 4. It wasn't a big reading month for me. I have talked about more in detail in my Fresh Red Kills videos. In fact, I just filmed those things. So if you want to find out more about my thoughts on any of these books, you can go back and look there. This is just going to be a very brief summary. I kind of do these ones just for kind of keep a brief record, even just for myself, about what I read in each month and just my very overall quick thoughts. So let me go through these kind of quickly. I first read the Poetic Edda, The Stories of Norse Gods and Heroes. This is translated by Jackson Crawford. I read this partly just because I'm a big sort of Norse enthusiast, partly for Historiathon 2024, a year-long reading event where we read nonfiction history and divide the year up into 4 quarters, each quarter looking at a different time period. We are currently in, especially in May, right in the middle of quarter 2, which looks at the years 500 to 1500. And I was looking at this partly as a way to find out more about Norse culture, Norse belief, but also I considered it part of a read for maybe Midrash, which is a yearly, month-long event about essentially reading religion, reading books about religion, books that deal with religion seriously. And I wanted to focus a lot of maybe Midrash, not entirely on, but most of it on paganism. So a lot of what we know about the Norse belief in their gods, what we would call Norse mythology, comes from the Poetic Eddas. So these are written down in the 13th century, but they deal with beliefs and stories that are far older, that date back from the pre-Christian era. And I find them just very utterly fascinating. Especially the ones that really stuck out to me were the Völuspá, the Havamal, the Grindismal. I love those things. And if that sort of thing is interesting to you, I would certainly recommend it, but just know that you are basically getting fragments. You are getting little bits and pieces of things. It's like, you know, you're punching a hole through a screen and you can get little glimpses of what's behind it, but you don't ever see the whole picture. But what is suggested to you is pretty magnificent. So I really enjoyed this. Definitely something I'm going to go back to and reread at some point. Connected to that, I did read this, A Modern Guide to Heathenry by Galina, Krasskova, Lore, Celebrations, and Mysteries of the Northern Traditions. Now, I am not exactly what I would call a heathen. I am an atheist, but I do find a lot of resonance with Norse paganism, also sometimes called heathenism. Now, there are various ways you can approach heathenry, one of them being really through kind of a very strict polytheism. And that's what this book deals with. It is looking at this pagan religion very strongly through the belief in the gods and honoring the gods and relationships with the gods. As I say in my longer discussion of this, there are other ways to look at Norse paganism, and those ways definitely resonate more with me. So I did find some value in here, but there was also a lot that I did not resonate with. Again, if you want to find out more about what I think about that, even though it's, as always, very rambly, it'll be in the video dedicated to that and to the Poetic Edda. I also read for Historiathon this one. This was a nice quick read. Life in a Medieval Castle by Joseph and Francis Gies. And this was, excuse me, as I described it, it was originally published in the 70s, I believe. This is an old copy. It's a great social history into the Middle Ages, and especially if you're somebody who's new to it. I mean, I'm not brand new to it, but it was still nice reminders. I learned a few new things in here. I didn't understand how falconry worked, which I thought was quite interesting. I showed the picture in the video about this, but it's a picture that kind of cracks me up. It always opened up to here it is, yeah. These are guys like spitting in a falcon's face to try and train it. But there are lots of images throughout this book, things to help you understand. It's a very swift read, and it's really not a militaristic book. It's not military history. It's more about what it was like to live in a castle, live around a castle, to be subject to the people who lived inside the castle, that sort of thing. And I really enjoyed that. So yes, I would recommend this. And I read Lost Christianities, The Battles for the Scripture We Never Knew by Bart Ehrman. This is not, I've read several Bart Ehrman books before. This is one of the earliest one that he wrote that I've read. And I did enjoy this. He looks at the different versions of Christianity that were going on in the first couple centuries, looking at proto-Orthodoxy and kind of why it went out against some of the others. And also looking at things like forgeries, both ancient and modern. A lot of really good information in here. I felt like things got a little bit slow towards the middle when he focuses a lot on the proto-Orthodoxy. And I kind of wish, I didn't say this in the original video, but he focuses so much on the actual scriptures themselves and what they're saying that I feel like I was wondering a little bit more about the historical context of what was going on in the background. And that's not entirely his fault. It's something that I just wish I knew a little bit more of, or that was given to me a little bit more in here. But that's not a big criticism. It's not even really a criticism. It's just something that I was yearning for. But yeah, if you're interested in early Christianity, and not in a way that is derived from apologetics in any way, this is very much a matter-of-fact sort of analysis, I would recommend this. And that's it. I only read 4 books in excuse me, in May. I think in April I had a huge stack of books. I think I maybe read twice this. But May was a very busy month, and June has turned out to be also quite busy. So I only read 4 books. So we got Life in a Medieval Castle, Modern Guide to Heathenry, The Poetic Edda, and Lost Christianities. If you've read any of these, love to hear your thoughts. And as always, thank you, BookTube.